Pearl Bailey, the lively diva next door whose distinctive singing style was enhanced by her mischievous witticisms. Her stage career began in 1933 when she won first prize at an amateur night in Philadelphia and reached its peak with her 1967 starring role on Broadway in an all-black version of the musical Hello, Dolly with Cab Calloway. Bailey said she thought of herself as a singer and not an actress. "I'm not a comedian," she once told an interviewer. "I call myself a humorist. I tell stories to music and, thank God, in tune. I laugh at people who call me an actress." On stage, her ample figure, often swathed in fur and sparkling with rhinestones and jewels, was a magnet for audience attention as she tossed off a ballad in a throwaway style. Her trademark was a warm, lusty singing voice accompanied by an easy smile and elegant gestures that charmed audiences and translated smoothly from the nightclub stage and Broadway to film and television. Pearl Mae Bailey was born on March 29, 1918 in Newport News, Virginia, the youngest of 4 children of Black and Creek Indian ancestry. Although Pearl Bailey had no official music education, she attributed her love of song and dance to her childhood experience in a Pentecostal Holy Roller church where her father was the preacher. Her parents divorced when she was 4, and the children divided their time between their mother's home in Philadelphia and their father's in Washington, D.C. Her only brother, Willie, was a tap dancing protege of Bill Bojangles Robinson and performed for a time as Bill Bailey. He once chased her from a theater where he was rehearsing, and to get back at him, Pearl, at 15, entered an amateur contest. She sang Poor Butterfly and Talk of the Town, and did a tap dance and won first prize. For several winters, she worked for $15 a week and tips as a singer and dancer in small clubs in the coal mining section of Pennsylvania. One summer on a visit to Washington, Pearl devised a dance act that won a $12 prize and led to other engagements. After winning a talent contest at the legendary Apollo Theater in Harlem, New York, Bailey dropped out of high school to pursue a career on a vaudeville circuit. Later in life, she would return to her dream of receiving a higher education by entering college at Georgetown University in Washington, D.C. In 1946, she made her Broadway debut in the all-black musical St. Louis Woman, produced by Johnny Mercer and Harold Arlen. This was a breakthrough role that took Bailey from vaudeville to Broadway. Her debut earned her the Donaldson Award as Best Newcomer on Broadway that year. She honed her distinctive style of entertainment through her nightclub act at the Zanzibar nightclub on Broadway, performing with Cab Calloway, who would become a lifelong friend. Her humorous and folksy style was well loved by audiences. She was affectionately called Pearly Mae by her fans and close friends. Her singing voice was described as throaty, with a low growl best suited to jazzy classics such as Toot Toot Tootsie Goodbye and Bill Bailey, Won't You Please Come Home. The London Times described her throwaway style as it would become known as seemingly haphazard, but in fact cunningly controlled lapses of vocal concentration, causing the lyrics to disappear under a groundswell of mumbled monologue, which always slipped back into rhythmic patterns of song with unerring accuracy. During the 1940s, she debuted as a soloist with big bands, such as the Edgar Hayes Orchestra and a Cootie Williams Band. Taking her act overseas, she performed with other jazz greats, such as Count Basie, on USO tours entertaining American troops during World War II. In 1942, Pearl Bailey married 4th husband Louis Belson, an accomplished jazz drummer who often performed backup for Pearl. Their interracial marriage lasted nearly 40 years until her death in 1990 from heart failure. Together they adopted 2 children, Tony and Dee Dee, who often traveled with their parents while they entertained troops overseas at USO events. After finding success with cabarets and stage productions, she went on to try her talent in film. Her first movie was Paramount's Variety Girl. In the movie, she sang what would become one of her signature numbers, Tired. In the 1950s, she played important roles in 2 all-black major studio musicals, that of Frankie and Carmen Jones, 1954, an updated musical rendition of Georges Bizet's opera, Carmen, also starring Harry Belafonte and Dorothy Dandridge. She also played Maria in George Gershwin's Porgy and Bess, also starring Sidney Poitier. Later that year, she played the role of Aunt Hagar in the movie St. Louis Blues, alongside Mahalia Jackson, Eartha Kitt, and Nat King Cole. Another memorable stage performance in 1954 was that of Madame Fleur in the Truman Capote musical House of Flowers. Tall, buxom, exuberant, and gorgeous, Pearl Bailey enraptured theater and nightclub audiences for a quarter of a century. In 1967, at the height of her career, Pearl Bailey played the lead role of Dolly in the all-black musical revival of Hello, Dolly. Her talents as an actress and singer were perhaps best blended in her role as the bumptious amateur matchmaker. She co-starred opposite her nightclub cohort and friend, Cab Calloway. Pearl received unanimous raves for her work and was presented with a special Tony Award for her performance. The Broadway production, which ran for 2 years, was forced to close due to Bailey's ongoing heart problems. At one point, the show went to Washington, D.C., and President Lyndon B. Johnson attended a performance. Waving to him at the curtain, Miss Bailey brought the house down with the remark, "I didn't know this child was going to show up," and then she brought him onto stage for a sing-along chorus of the title song. It was probably the first time a president of the United States served as a chorus boy. Pearl Bailey was a featured performer at President Dwight D. Eisenhower's inauguration in 1957, beginning what would become a lifelong aside to her career, entertaining at the White House. Bailey had a bluntness that some found disconcerting. Once, President Richard Nixon invited her to the White House and asked her to become his ambassador of love. In her account, Miss Bailey reported, "I don't join anything. I'm not a member of anything, and I don't pay dues. I told Mr. Nixon I'll do anything for my country, but no one can use me. I don't want to be used. And I told him that when I go out among the people and they see me, they'll say, 'My Lord, they sent Pearlie Mae,' and they'll think somebody must be trying to do something." Pearl had her own television variety show in 1971 and played a supporting role in the television sitcom Silver Spoons for 7 years. She also returned to her first love, cabaret singing, whose intimate venues suited her style of entertaining and engaging the audience. In 1975, Bailey was appointed Special Ambassador to the United Nations by President Gerald Ford. As part of her role, she visited and performed for a wide array of world leaders that included Anwar Sadat of Egypt, the former Shah of Iran, and King Hussein of Jordan, among others. As a special representative, not only did she perform at events, but at least on one occasion she had addressed a special session of United Nations as well. Her concerns included raising awareness for AIDS research. Among her many UN-related travels, she was a witness to and wrote about the plight of children in refugee camps in both Palestine and Africa. Pearl Bailey was given an honorary degree by Georgetown University in 1978. And while she received her award on stage, she stunned and delighted her audience by telling them that she planned to return to college there the following year. In 1985, after 5 years of studying, she graduated with a BA in theology. She was 67 years young. At first, Bailey majored in French, and when asked why she switched from French to theology, she said, "Because it's easier to know the Lord than it is to know French." In her memoir, Between You and Me, written a year before she died, she encouraged other senior citizens to pursue their dreams. Pearl Bailey wrote 6 books, 3 of them memoirs, that are filled with homespun wisdom ranging from cooking to child rearing. In her book Between You and Me, she shared many of her unique experiences while serving as United Nations Special Representative. She met not only world leaders but worked with their wives on various projects such as the Reading is Fundamental literacy program, initiated by First Lady Barbara Bush. In her book, Dewey's Tale, A Children's Fable, she won the Coretta Scott King Award for Children's Literature in 1976. Pearl Bailey enjoyed a long career, lasting well over 50 years, and left an indelible mark on the entertainment world. She was real and relatable. She was the diva next door that always left her audience with a smile. She was a trailblazer that paved the way for a generation of Black female entertainers to come. Pearl Bailey, Onyx Queen.
You know, I wake up in the morning with my hair down in my eyes. Ooh, he says, hi. Get straight here for wait a minute. And he'd struggle to the breakfast table while the kids are going off to school. And he says, bye. And he reaches out and he takes my hand, sort of squeezes it, and says, how you feeling, hon? And I look across his smiling lips that warm my heart and see the morning sun. Now, if that's not loving him, then all I've gotta say, God didn't make little green apples. It don't rain in Indianapolis in the summertime. There's no such thing as Dr. Seuss, Disneyland and Mother Goose is a little nursery rhyme. God didn't make little green apples. It don't rain in Indianapolis in the summertime. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes he calls me at home and he knows I'm busy. And he asks me, can you get away to get a bite to eat? So I just drop what I'm doing and I hurry down to meet him, but I'm always a little late. But he just sits there waiting patiently. He smiles when he sees me, well, he's just that way. Now, if that's not loving him, let me make a statement. That's all I gotta say. Oh, God didn't make little green apples. It don't snow in Minneapolis in the wintertime. There's no such thing as make-believe. Puppy dogs and autumn leaves and BB guns. God didn't make little green apples. It didn't rain in Indianapolis in the summertime. God made the apples. He made the rain. The apples and the rain. Yes, he made.
If you enjoyed this video, please share, like, and subscribe to this channel. Thank you for watching.